Gamble in the chat. Which deck do you think will win? Delver to start the game for John.
Okay, where? Really sure. Train ride.
Oh, yeah, that's why I take the bus from there.
Target myself.
Portent, target myself, says Phil to start off the game. Start off the match. Delver trigger. Reveals Brainstorm on top. There's Insectile Aberration. Okay, putting the Delver off to the side. All right, and a second Delver for John. Basic planes. Delver. Does not play. Not this time. But John liked the card anyway. Didn't crack Scalding Tarn. Swords to Plowshares on Insectile Aberration. Flusterstorm on that. So Phil takes 4. All right, players are not updating the phone. They'll probably update it in a moment. All right, here's a ponder for John. Brainstorm in response. So Phil is at 16, actually, and John is at 19. The phone hasn't been maintained at the moment. Predict. Naming Entreat. Puts it in the yard. Lewinil, thanks for the resub. 33 months for Lewinil. Always exciting to see a couple of NYC Legacy Titans battling on 90s MTG. Thank you. Thank you, Lewinil. 33 months. That's just incredible. Anonymous donated $20. Thank you, whoever that was. Appreciate it. Where are we on our goal now? 630. Very nice. Thank you, everybody that's been contributing.
Attack for 1. Trigger.
Attacking for 4. Once again. All right, we're going to do life totals ourselves here. Phil down to 12, I believe. And John now down to 19. And we are going to try to maintain it as best as we can. Here's Terminus hitting the stack. Force pitching Brainstorm on Terminus.
Oh, it's not. It's not a plus one. It's not like a genius, but they just pass +1. Okay.
All right, so Terminus has been countered, making a land drop and passing the turn. Fetching now is John. Down to 17. Getting a Volk. Unexpectedly absent on the Insectile Aberration.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
I'll go to attack.
Yep. 7.
All right, Phil is apparently at 7. I guess I missed some damage. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Brainstorm. Daze.
Good.
Three or life is
All right, John dropping a bunch of creatures on the board. With Phil at 7. Important. Terminus could be pretty good here. Important is a shuffle. Yeah, no fear.
Instant artifact sorcery. No creature. I'll go to 6.
All right, Phil goes down to 6. The players haven't touched the phone even once. All right, looks like now they're updating the phone. All right. I guess I had life totals wrong anyway. Cheddar is here. What's up, Cheddar? Another portent for Phil.
Yeah, I was like,
Are we seeing any Stoneblade today? Possibly, but probably not. Might not be able to get to it. All right, Phil scoops it up. There was a bolt on top. My list is posted in the Discord. But very similar. The Days Stifle Bent Stoneblade deck. All right, Misty Rainforest on the play is Phil. Polluted Delta for John.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, okay.
Followed specifically because I don't have to follow to chat. Yeah, I see a lot of channels have that turned on. Kozilek saying, I never see the Force of Phil win, but his deck is beauty. Force of Phil wins like crazy, everybody.
Retro? I know.
okay, yeah, you know, that's not
That was a praise and a dig at the same time. All right, here's Tundra Portent.
Yeah.
Now there's like Blue Panther. I don't think I've ever seen
Never seen Iona. You've never seen Astro.
All right, passing the turn. I'll waste you, says John. Takes out that Tundra. And Phil finds another Tundra.
Okay. Free game effect. What?
Yep. 19 up.
Turn 1. Where's the star? Over to you. Quick wasteland, baby.
No, it's a first
Ink Welder, thanks for the reso with Prime. Hyped to catch a stream live for once, getting so close to the donation goal. Yes, we crushed several goals so far, but we extended the goal, and we are killing it today. Thank you, Ink Welder. New badge for Ink Welder as well. Phil is always on the top table, isn't he? Yeah, so, I mean, the reason why we always see Force of Phil on the stream is because Force of Phil is always at the top tables. So, that is for sure. When I cover these events, I just keep the cameras on the tables where people are still live for top 8 or 3-0 or 2-0, whatever.
These are the 2 cards that are on top.
We're not seeing the O2 players on camera.
Put them on top, and then I went to my draw set. Actually, go on.
There's a trigger. I'm just finding the trigger back. And now I'm gonna.
Yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
the cap.
All right, brainstorm stuff happening here for John.
So then,
I was making sure I could actually count it. That's why.
Basic Island. Cracking a Tarn.
dies.
But this is 9. You're casting.
Cards.
Dies is 9.
The 3 draws table, yeah.
I thought dies just means whenever it touches the graveyard. Like dies means it's a bad graveyard.
Murktide Region, everybody. Do we have anybody watching who's still upset about Murktide Region, or are you over it at this point? Have you gotten past it? All right, so Mystical Dispute. Flusterstorm. With 2 copies.
It's countered, it's still dying. It's just being
He has to be on the battlefield to die. Yeah. Okay.
All right, a Flusterstorm then from Force of Fill. And that will counter all of the copies. And counter Murktide in the end. With Mystical Dispute. Here's Chart of Course.
waste
You only discard one. Yeah.
The Murktide was originally countered by Mystical Dispute. And in the end, that's what happened. All right, Mishra's Bauble revealed, I believe, another Tundra on top, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. John may have forgotten to draw off Bauble. If John drew, I missed it. All right, so here's a Ponder. And a Delver. Thwart. Hardcast. Pyroblast. So Delver will resolve. And a Ponder here for Force of Fill. Fetch and response. Pyroblast. Yeah, Thwart. You must be new here, Oinkster. Predict. After Pyroblast has been revealed, mills it into the yard. Phil draws 2. Nicely done. Delver still flips, though.
I got me at 16.
All right, players thankfully leaving the life totals up to date for us. Brainstorm for John. And here's Murktide Regent. Force pitching Pyroblast on Murktide.
Yeah,
Murktide is countered.
13? I think it's 14, right?
I was at 19, went down to 16,
Yeah.
and now 15 off the fetch, or off the force.
Yeah.
So 15, right?
15.
15, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead.
YouTube commenters will let us know if they got the life totals right. Yeah. Yeah, I got a comment the other day from a YouTube viewer that was like, what the heck is Comet Control? And I was like, Murktide Regent, number 2, hitting the stack here. Exiling everything else in the graveyard except for a Scalding Tarn, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you run a 3-color deck.
I'm at 14. Was that,
So,
did I take 2 hits from the Delta?
this should be the second hit, right?
Okay, then I was at 11.
All right, so Phil down to 11.
And then you counted the Murktide, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Xian making a great point. The reason why Comet still hasn't exploded is also the fact that most people haven't looked at it carefully. Yeah, read Comet Stellar Pup and tell me you have a good reason not to put that in your deck that has red and white mana, everybody. I mean, what are you people doing? Card's ridiculous.
Draw.
Hard casting Terminus here is Phil. I'm going to put both creatures on the bottom.
Go ahead. I'll float 3 blue. Sure.
Can Minsk and Boo end the game the turn it drops on the board and with your opponent at 20 life?
Well, unless you have a... Copper's essentially better. One of copper's
Sounds good.
Chart a course. We had some Delver players in the chat earlier asking about expressive iteration replacements, and it looks like Jess Guy John is going with Chart a course. There's a DRC on the table. Kidding aside, though, I played in the past 4-color control with Minsk and Comet in the deck. So with the split, you aren't as vulnerable to Caracas as Luenil is pointing out. The baseline average on Comet, for me personally, is high enough that it makes the cut in just about any deck that I'm playing that has red and white mana, and that makes sense to have a 4-drop Planeswalker. Like, obviously, I'm not talking about Reanimator decks, but yeah. If you haven't played Comet yet, I'm sure, or played against it, I'm sure you're still underestimating the card. It's very powerful.
Artifact, land, creature.
Cool. You're at 21? Oh, I'm sorry, you're at 20. Go.
All right, so Counterbalance has resolved. Phil just making some land drops and passing the turn. John with no creatures on the board.
The 2/2 goblin. Goblin.
There's been a couple of games. You could go on our YouTube channel and go watch the matches if you want, but there's been some games where players rolled 6s multiple times in a turn with Comet. It just gets crazy. Like, it gets out of control. All right, force a negation on Brainstorm, looks like happening here. Yeah, it is ultra. It is high variance.
This trigger resolves. It's still on the same. I'm going to target myself. Good.
Predict.
The threats of the 3 power in the air. Just for now.
I've had people slam needles on turn 1 against me, named Comet. I'm not even playing Comet in my deck a few times. That's happened to me now. Because people know I play the card.
Force negation resolve.
True story. Force negation resolves, so Brainstorm is countered. And Brainstorm going back on top of the library with Mystic Sanctuary, a different copy of Brainstorm. All right, hard casting Triumph of St. Catherine here. Hard mode, thanks for the resub. With Prime, making Jeff Bezos pay for it. I will never play Legacy, but I love to watch. Greetings. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you can enjoy watching some Legacy and hang out with us.
No, I just don't want to reveal.
Oh, you don't have to.
Draw 1 card. Before you move to attack. Okay.
All right, I'll scoop to that, says Just Guy John. If you haven't played with or against this card yet, which some of you haven't, if you've only been playing on MTGO, It is quite good against Delver. All right, here's Portent. Yeah, Phil's collection is quite nice. As of those of you that regularly watch the channel are well aware. And because I get a lot of questions for it. If you're interested in Phil's deck list, it is posted in our Discord. Links are down below. Links are up on our website. Go find the deck list. Great question from Ink Welder. Which card not yet on MTGO as of today, March 22nd, will cause the biggest impact to Legacy once they add it? Comet, Catherine, Chaos Defiler, other initiative cards. I'm actually not aware, other than obviously all cards from 40K and all cards from Infinity, which cards are still missing from MTGO. There's still Creative Technique going back years ago already that's missing at this point. For example, which could be a Legacy relevant card. But I mean, Chaos Defiler is a good pick. Comet, Catherine, and Chaos Defiler are the first that come to mind for me. Mawlock is a good one as well. Yeah, Undermountain was added like weirdly the day after they banned White Plume, which was really strange. The timing was all awkward. There are a few other cards, though, like Paradise Lost, which can be potentially used in Storm, the Ad Nauseam Tendrils version. There are the Attractions cards, which I've been playing with. I know people don't believe me, but the Attractions are decent, and I'm trying to figure them out. Gothmog, thank you for the resub. 18 months for Gothmog. That's a new badge. Thank you, Gothmog. What's up, Gothmog? Hope all is well. Lost my train of thought. I believe there's a card, Abdel, which is played in the World Gorger Dragon Reanimator decks, which is relevant. I don't know how big of an impact that'll be. That and yeah, I'm probably forgetting a bunch. I don't play MTGO, so I just can't even think of what cards from Baldur's Gate are missing, but I think there's another couple that could be highly relevant.
Yeah, the second part, I don't
Yeah, I still don't know. See, everything else has been in the earlier terms. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's like the board.
Originally had it.
Before you attack, we're in combat.
Okay, beginning of combat, we're seeing a Hydroblast hit Dragon's Rage Channeler, which I believe is still a 1/1. Pyroblast, Surveil. Surveil resolves, creature gets dumped into the yard. Dragon's Rage Channeler will get in an attack for, I think, 3 now. I think we just hit Delirium. Instant, sorcery, land, creature. Phil drops to 16.
Like a painter deck or something?
Not that I was suspecting that I worked So, when I look down, I look up and then you have to comment on
Counterbalance hitting the stack for Phil. Fetch in response, and Phil says, hold on a second. Unexpectedly absent. Oof. Oh, that's so annoying. Well played by Phil. So Dragon's Rage Channeler gets shuffled into the deck. Lewinell says Defiler probably has the most impact in upgrading a single deck. Comet has the broadest applications to affect the format in a variety of decks, and Mawlock has the best chance to make previously unviable decks work. That makes sense to me. Yeah, Comet, Defiler, and Mawlock feel pretty relevant.
Just so I know, the 18 is correct for you, right? 'Cause you don't.
There's like another 40K card that somebody hasn't mentioned yet that it feels relevant, but I'm not. It's not coming to me what it is. Are we forgetting an obvious one? Or do we cover it all? Poxwalkers, maybe. Oh, Toxicrene. Is Toxicrene? Yeah, Toxicrene is actually somewhat relevant.
Or maybe I'll put my
I've been meaning to try, I forgot what it's called. It's from 40K. The 3/3 Squad Miracle. I don't know the name of it. I have a playset. Zephyrum. Yeah. I have a stack of those sitting on my table. On my shelf over there. That I've been meaning to try. I just haven't had a chance to yet.
I don't know yet.
Insect. 6.
All right. Phil fetches down to 6. Creative Technique and the whatever the Cascade 6-drop Pyroclasm-ish Cascade card are could be pretty relevant. Oh yeah, the Goblin, the sticker Goblin. Let the Galaxy Burn. That's the one. The Cascade deck seems like it could be the real deal. It could be. I don't know if the iterations of it we've seen so far are most optimized, but there's something there for sure. All right, here's Hydroblast on DRC happening again.
Bolt targeting you, trigger.
Bolt targeting you, trigger Surveil. Counterbalance reveals a land.
That's really what I have on mine.
This is nice. I wouldn't sit like you're probably.
Predict target myself.
Predict target myself, says Force of Phil. Knows the top card of the deck, obviously. It's Flooded Strand. We all see it. Flusterstorm on Predict. 4 copies. Quite a stack being built here. Screenshots are going to be flying in. There's 3 copies in the original Flusterstorm.
On the original.
On the original.
Yeah, I think things will get really interesting once 40K and Unfinity are added to MTGO in 2025.
I'm not a graphic designer, so I'm not going to present the Do you also do the other, do you also
Creative Technique came out in 2021. It's getting sad out there. All right, here's Flusterstorm. Oh, oh God, the stack.
I have 4 copies or 3. I have 4 copies here. So I'm going to stack them. So you have all 4 on my Predict.
Should we just end the stream now, or do you guys want to watch this stack?
I'm sorry, and second one. If that's the case, then do what we did in pre-modern, where we like ban the duel lands, right? Stuff like that.
I'm at 3. 2 cards.
I have 4.
You.
This is a fluster on a fluster. There's a bolt on the stack and a predict on the stack still. Both are in limbo right now. Hydroblast was targeting Dragon's Rage Channeler. So where does Phil point these fluster copies?
One person probably did.
Phil has 1 open mana, John has 2. Twitch chat getting migraines now.
Yeah, for us, we were all like kitchen table.
Kitchen table, sure.
Okay, so Phil's pointing 1. Nope. Thinking about it. Has 4 copies. 4 extra copies created by Storm to place onto the stack.
So 1 on each copy of Fluster.
1 on each copy of Fluster, Phil says.
And then I'll put. So I'll put 1, 1, 1.
Okay.
2.
1, 1, 1, and 2.
Okay, so targeting all copies. All of Phil's Flusterstorms are targeting John's Flusterstorms.
So then you can still, if I pay for 2, then you can still pay 1
This is a nightmare.
to resolve this.
This work we should get into.
So if you can, yeah, if you want to pay 2, you can have 2 copies still left on the stack.
Very difficult. It's alright.
Interesting.
Okay, I will pay 2, and there's 1 on stack.
Which, I assume that you want to remove the, you don't care about the one that's getting copied twice.
I'd be doing like in my head.
Because you have 3 that are being copied like this, so which ones do you want to pay for? See what I'm asking?
Yeah, I'll pay for, they're all on this. Okay, they're all on this. I'll pay for 1,
Okay.
I remember.
and I'll pay for the, so 2.
So you want 2 that are copying that with only 1.
My advice for people in this situation: just do it one at a time. Figure it out one at a time. I think they're confusing. I think John is confusing himself here.
Which is what allowed me to play slivers.
I'm gonna
play like 4.
pay for a copy. So this will stay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to
man.
thwart picking up these 3
bro.
on the other.
This has to be the best thing you can do. Like,
On the bolt?
Okay, so Thwart picked up 2 Mystic Sanctuaries on the outlier copy of Flusterstorm that Phil could not pay for. I hope everybody's following. I know this is a lot.
Okay, so with the thwart on the stack?
Yeah, so the thwart targeting the other copy will result in I have my one last copy of Fluster will counter the Fluster.
Thwart on the stack.
Yep.
I will daze this.
Days on Hydroblast, which was targeting Dragon's Rage Channeler. Phil cannot pay for it. Servo.
Okay, so this will fall off. These resolve. Well, this already resolved, so this fell off.
So bolt resolves.
These fall off. Well, the predict is still bolt is still on the stack.
Bolt is done.
Predict and Bolt are still in the stack.
This is all off. Then
All the Flusterstorms are gone.
Okay.
go to.
Bolt is the last remaining thing on the stack.
Yep, I'm a 3.
Go to my. That was upkeep. Okay, go to my draw.
Yeah, Thwart then Fluster might have been better. You also would have had another copy for Storm. Attacking with Dragon's Rage Channeler. And that is the match. GG's. GG's.